It is our great pleasure to be joined by Dan Mitre, the CMO of New Wave Holdings, and we're talking about esports. This is really, really taking off in North America, is it not? And you're the perfect person to talk about. Tell us about your background first, Dan.
Yeah, so I'm 16 years in gaming. So I was on the publisher developer side. I started off as a QA tester, so actually testing video games.
Wow.
So I started there and I got into global marketing and community management, and I worked at several companies across the industry, Electronic Arts, THQ, Sega of America, Activision. And so what I got to see though through my experience is all of these big catalysts and transitions. So back in the day we went from retail to digital. That really opened up new revenue streams for companies, getting games out there at a much cheaper to distribute, all through the digital download era, and then obviously that's kind of just quintessential for distribution.
Yes.
Then we saw the influencer space expand, and so you went from the MySpace and Facebook to YouTube and Twitch.
Right.
And you have influencers creating their own personalities and their own companies and brands, and actually making revenue based off of their personalities, in which we're tapping into now for esports.
Okay.
And now we see that big transition from kind of just a single experience game, like a single player or multiplayer, to esports, to lifestyle experiences. And that's where esports comes into play.
Is this really taking off? I know that you, in some of the articles I've read that you've posted, and some of the videos that you've done, Asia, Europe, they're ahead, but in North America, we're just beginning to discover this incredible the new wave, if you will.
Yeah, hey, look at that.
There you have it.
Full circle.
Tied it right in, didn't
Yeah.
I? But it's just starting to take off here. I believe you mentioned a stadium in Pennsylvania is being built, or it has been built.
Yeah,
for gaming.
Comcast is making that.
There you are.
Yeah.
Now, how big is that going to be?
That's going to be huge. Okay, so this is the Fusion Arena.
Okay.
So not only are they there to bring spectators into the sport, there's a whole, and everything's Wi-Fi connected. Like you're still connected. You could watch the Twitch stream as you're there in person, which people do. So they're not only watching the game being played, but they're interacting with fans on Twitch.
Wow.
They're posting on their Twitter channels, and then you have all the big athletes and the sponsors that are coming through. This is going to be very big for North American soil. But you have big money that's coming in. You've got Will Smith putting in investment into Gen G.
Yes.
Drake into 100 Thieves. So the money's there, and the hype's there as well. And so that's where New Wave comes in. We're here at the ground level as well, and that's where we open up to a lot of different investors and investees.
Women athletes as well are getting into it too, of course. Is it Tidal? Is that the one?
Tidal owns Team Lazarus.
Team Lazarus,
Yes.
and that's all women, right? And Brenda Andrews, who is the former Canadian Women's Hockey League commissioner, she's involved in that as well.
So not all women's, but they do have a premier women's team.
Yes.
And that's what I love about Lazarus is their roster is very diverse. I mean, esports and gaming is made up of a diverse background. No matter where you're from, what your proficiency level is, who you identify as.
How old you are.
How old you are, yeah. We accept you, come one, come all. And that's what I love about gaming. It's a very rich community.
You just recently held an event right here in Toronto called Get On My Level. Tell us, that exceeded your expectations, did it not?
Absolutely.
Tell us
It was
how good it was.
wild. So we were talking a little bit before we got on camera.
Yeah.
So we invested in a company called Even Matchup Gaming. And we came in and we really helped with their marketing, and we worked with Joe Krabari, who has been maintaining this for 6 years running. And so he comes in, he started this in a small auditorium with 40 or 50 people coming out to play Smash. It's just very grassroots level. We came in, we're like, okay, if we hit 1,000 people at this event and we hit peak concurrent of 50,000 on Twitch, we'll be happy. We blew that out of the water.
Did you?
2,100 people came out to spectate and compete.
Wow.
And they were there at all hours of the day. Just the energy was just so, it was unprecedented. I was over myself. It was insane. And then on Twitch, we saw just under 1 million unique viewers, 67,000 people watching at one time. So that tells me there's a big appetite for the Smash scene, and you keep this grassroots, you keep this close to the community, but you still open this up to big sponsorship. So Red Bull came in, we had Nintendo, we had BenQ, and all of this great family and these great efforts that poured into Even Matchup Gaming GOML made this past weekend just an incredible event.
How much room is there to grow? Esports it's taking off, as you said. You mentioned Will Smith, a professional athlete, a hockey player. Mike Modano's gotten involved. He won a Stanley Cup with the Dallas Stars.
Drake and 100 Thieves, yeah.
There you go. But he's investing as well. So and that draws people in. Are these all sort of like big names? Are they also influencers in a way?
Absolutely, yeah. So they are influencers. You know, that's where all the big press pick up. I mean, you can have any company that comes in and says, yeah, you know, we put in a sizable amount of chunk into this, but being able to generate press beats out of a big celebrity investing in here means that there's actual people with major influence that are putting money into the esports industry, and that's important for us. Where there's a win for all of us. So they've been investing mainly in teams, and teams is one vertical within esports. And the teams that are going to come out on top are those that create great, rich communities behind them. And the reason why I said that earlier is because you want that human connection. These are younger audiences that see through the smoke and mirrors of traditional marketing of days past and want to have that human element. And they want to connect with the brand because they identify with the brand. Right. And so they're the ones that are willing to buy the t-shirts, watch the live stream, go to the events, have actual conversation with these athletes, and they feel like they're a part of something bigger.
Thank you so much, Dan.
Thank you. This was awesome.
Yeah, it was really terrific.
Yeah.
Very kind.
Cool.